So my grandfather threatened to kick me out of his will. And out of nowhere, my sister just says, "Sorry, I told grandfather about your secret." Well, I guess she doesn't know. I know a secret about her that's way more devastating than what she told Grandpa, and I might tell everyone. Gosh, I'm so tired of my family and their insistent drama. Once again, I'm in the middle of some complete bullcrap. Thanks to my entitled and rude sister, Patty. I don't know why I even keep trying with this family. I mean, it's clearly getting me nowhere. Basically, the reason I'm posting this today is because I need some advice with a family dilemma. Don't be afraid to be brutally honest with me because I want to know if I'm in the wrong here. First, there's a lot of background information I need to divulge, so this is going to be quite the lengthy post. My family is so dysfunctional I could probably fill it up with a Bible of tales of their silliness and pretty petty behavior. Heck, that would be the only way to get them to read it anyways. It seems like all my family talks about is religion and traditionalism. Look, guys, I have absolutely nothing against that sort of thinking, but my family uses quote tradition and quote religion as an excuse to be rude and treat others poorly. You see, I've always been at odds with my family ever since I was a little girl. I was a goth girl, and who listened to punk rock and emo music, and it drove my family crazy. They told me I was listening to the devil's music, and would ask me why I could not be more like the perfect princess sister Patty. It seems like that's all I ever heard growing up. Patty, 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 Patty. It drove me up the walls. She's 2 years younger than me, so she was spoiled quite a bit. Being the youngest to begin with, and my family never stopped babying her. We could not be more different in how we look, dress, think, and act and everything. I mean, she acts like some goody two-shoe around the rest of the family, but she's always been rude to me and mean to me. Growing up, I was an outcast at school due to the ignorance of my area. They would make fun of me and, well, for dressing emo and goth. And they would put down the music that I liked, and Patty was on the cheerleading team. And even though she was 2 grades below me, she would also join in with other girls to ridicule me for being different. When I told my parents about this growing up, they always dismissed me. My parents thought that we just had a sibling rivalry, but it was far worse than that. Sometimes Patty and a group of her foul cheerleader friends would even beat me up at school. I would be coming home with a black eye, and my parents still never took it seriously. Sometimes things would be fine between my sister and me, but there was always a layer of tension between us even when we were mostly getting along. Since we are now adults, we've remained civil with each other mainly out of respect for the family. My family still treats Patty like the golden egg. She's a married housewife with children, so she adheres to my family's idea of tradition. I get put down and belittled for trying to have my own career and doing things of my own terms. I'm an artist for a living and I make decent money doing it. I make t-shirts and album covers for alternate rock groups, and my family is of course opposed to this even though I'm making a living from it. Meanwhile, Patty doesn't work, and she even has the nerve to ask my parents for money periodically to help her raise her kids. The family does not realize, in private, Patty loves to party and get drunk. She's such a manipulator that she's pulled the wool over the entire family. You see, Patty's husband, Snodgrass, is a complete buffoon and an obnoxious drunk. Heck, he secretly drinks liquor at our family functions and I'm the only one who's even noticed. Yeah, it's because Patty and her husband pretend to be all good, religious people, Puritans. My family turns a blind eye to their horrid behavior and it's a bunch of baloney. Patty's no Puritan at all. In fact, she had an illegitimate child with another man before she was married, and she had to put the baby up for adoption after the guy hit the road and took off on her. She managed to keep this a secret from my oblivious and clueless family. I was the only person in the family Patty told about this, mainly because she let it slip once while calling me on the phone drunk as a skunk. The family kept right along with thinking Patty was some sort of saint, descended from the heavens to teach the rest of us mere mortals how to act. It would be quite hilarious if she weren't such a thorn in my side. And then there's the issue of my husband Vince and my grandfather. My husband Vince is the love of my life. He's an artist, like me. He plays in a punk rock band and goes on tours all across the country. He doesn't make a lot of money at all being in a punk rock band, but he is an artist following his vision and doing his own thing. And that's always been extremely attractive, if you ask me. So, we fell in love just about instantly after a couple of dates, and we did have a quaint little wedding just a few months ago. Here's the problem, though, guys. You see, Vince is not the typical guy. I live in a rural area where guys usually wear these cowboy hats, cowboy boots, camo, and sport jerseys. Vince stands out like a sore thumb with his giant mohawk, his piercings, his combat boots, and more. He does dress like a rock star, and he's always caught flack for it from ignorant and close-minded people in the area. My family's never treated him with any respect, even though he is in a respected punk rock band. When I first brought Vince around my family, they would crack jokes about his appearance. When they found out Vince was a punk rocker, they asked him when he was going to finally get, quote, a real job. They said being a musician isn't real man's work. I was so humiliated and embarrassed, and I could tell Vince truly wanted to make a good impression in my family. But no matter what Vince said or did, my family just kept raging about him and being complete jerks. Grandpa, he was especially rude. He told Vince to his face that he wasn't fit to date anyone in his family. Funny how Grandpa thinks he gets to control what I do. I mean, I'm a grown woman, for crying out loud. Grandpa would text me in the middle of the day, something asking me when I was going to break up with Vince. Get rid of that Vince character. I fought in Nam. I can tell Vince is a piece of crap. That's what Grandpa would say over and over like a broken record. The old man probably forgot he was even telling me this. He's got a poor memory, and frankly, the guy is dumb as a box of rocks. Vince is 10,000 times smarter and a nicer person as well, and Grandpa always ordered around my grandmother, and he never learned any life skills of his own. He can't cook, he can't clean, he can barely tie a pair of shoes. I mean, ever since my grandmother passed away, Grandpa's been even harder to deal with. I know people express grief in different ways, but Grandpa's way of coping with the loss of my grandmother, it's been through anger. He's a jerk to everybody who isn't straight, white, Christian male. When Patty and I were teenagers, Grandpa once threatened a black boy at our school who had asked Patty out on a date. Grandpa thinks that black people and white people can't mix. Can you imagine still having such a bigoted thought and backward belief in 2024? This is the type of ignorance I have to deal with my entire life. So, let me take you guys right now to the present day. The real reason I'm writing this post for all you people here. You see, I have to keep my wedding to Vince a secret from the rest of my family. Unfortunately, Patty happened to find the marriage records on the interweb, and she even joked with me about how disappointed the family would be in me if they were to find out. I told her that she had better keep her mouth shut, because I did not want to deal with the fallout and the freak-out that would ensue if my family caught wind of my marriage. It's bad enough in their eyes that the two of us were even dating and living together. Obviously, keeping a secret has a lot of effort, and yes, it's crazy. I don't even share my marriage with my family because they're so close-minded, guys. Well, I'd say about a week ago, Patty and we had this massive, giant argument, and it was over the phone. So she called me late at night, drunk as a skunk, and immediately took a rude tone with me. She was clearly trying to goad me into an argument, and I was in a bad mood already, so I foolishly decided to take the bait. We started screaming at each other, calling each other's names and arguments. It was getting quite ugly. Hey, remember when me and my friends would beat the crap out of you when we were children? Patty would gloat like a snake, and I don't know. I was just quite annoyed at her reminding me of those painful memories over and over. So I freaked out and told her that she was never a true sister to me. I told her to shut her mouth, and then I hung up the phone. Truthfully, I had forgotten the argument when I went to the family dinner at Grandpa's house. I did. Patty and I argue so much already that, It's become quite commonplace, although the particular argument was indeed much worse than what we've had in quite some time now. Still, I'd mostly forgotten about everything when I went into Grandpa's house. Grandpa had a strange attitude around me as soon as I walked through that door. Grandpa is always a bit of a jerk, but he usually at least exchanged pleasantries with me and asked me how I was doing at the family functions. But this time he was cold, he was short, he was curt, and he was all around rude. I had bad feelings about the whole situation, but I could not quite understand why my gut was telling me something was totally off about this. Everyone in the family was seated at the dinner table, but I noticed no food had been set out for us to enjoy yet. This was strange. Grandpa appeared and stood at the end of the table, and I could tell something weird was afoot. I noticed Patty had a huge devilish grin on her face like a mad clown or something. Grandpa said that he had a serious announcement to make, and he looked right at me. What? What he told me next shook me and floored me. Grandpa said that he was considering removing me from his will. So I obviously asked him why, and he said that he found out about my secret marriage to Vince. Grandpa said he was ashamed of me for marrying somebody without his approval, and he once again declared Vince to be a piece of crap. I did not invite Vince over for this family function, and I am so glad that I did not. I mean, who knows what Vince might have done after hearing Grandpa put him down so hard. I could feel my eyes welling up with tears. What had I done to deserve this? These jerks just torture me for being different from them, and I was sick of it. I was sitting there at the end of the dinner table with the entire family muttering and shouting at me, spouting crap about Vince and how I should not have even married him. I said enough was enough and told them all to shut their traps. Well, they were shocked. I guess my traditional conservative family does not like it when women speak up for themselves. I told them that it was oh so ironic how they picked on me and had exalted Patty as some sort of saintly golden child, considering she was the one who had an illegitimate child out of wedlock and put the baby up for adoption. Oh boy. You should have seen the looks on my family's faces. They were shocked. You could tell that they've never considered that type of behavior coming from the golden child. She knew that she could not deny a lie, and she cannot get out of this. So, a huge argument burst out. People were screaming, crying, yelling, and Patty's, a buffoon of a husband, even tried throwing a shoe at me, and I got up and excused myself and told the family they can kick some rocks. I told them I was done with their abuse and their bull crap, and I gave them all the finger and left Grandpa's house. I'll admit I let my emotions take over, and I wish I had not acted the way that I did. But a human being can only take so much crap and abuse from people, especially their own family. However, I can't help but feel slightly guilty for my outburst. My parents have been blowing up my phone and harassing me about what I said. It seems like the entire family's mad, but not at Patty, the one who had an illegitimate child and lied to the entire family about it. No, these people are mad at me for spilling the secret, and apparently they all think it's quite inappropriate of me to do so. And Patty won't even speak to me when I try calling her. My parents told me Patty was quite upset with me. Guys, I mean, what should I do about this? Should I try to fix things with my family? I hate getting angry, but they truly pushed me to the brink when they all just ganged up on me. Well, I could use any advice if you're willing to throw it my way. Thank you. What's up, everybody? So today we have a wild family drama. Mr. Reddito here. There is multiple updates, and it looks like OP has basically lined the entire story with every single detail we need to know to have a juicy outcome. There's 5 updates in this one. Just a quick reminder, only about 15 to 20% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. If you guys do enjoy these stories, please hit that subscribe button as it does support the channel a lot. Thank you for doing that, and let's go ahead, jump into the first update. Update number 1. Hello everyone, OP here. I do have an update for you all, and first I'd like to thank you all for who left kind and supportive comments. I get a lot of great advice, and honestly, I feel a little less crazy reading all the comments and seeing how many of you sided with me. Sometimes when my whole family's against me, it makes me feel like I'm losing my mind or like I'm the one in the wrong. It looks like many of you can relate to the dysfunction in my family, so it's nice to know that I'm not alone. I also saw many of you sharing some harsh truth that I needed to hear. Some of you are urging me to cut off the contact with my toxic family, and honestly, you people might be right for that suggestion. You see, things just keep getting worse. I was browsing Facebook earlier and came up with an interesting development. Turns out some jerk is out there impersonating me on Facebook. They stole my name, my photos, and they're going around trying to ruin my reputation. I mean, come on, I wasn't born yesterday. This is sick and twisted, and the fake account's obviously being run by Patty. Patty probably wants some sort of revenge against me for what I did at the party. Well, all I said was nothing more than the truth. She should not have spilled my secret if she didn't want me to spill her secret, an eye for an eye. But now it seems like she was ramping up the petty, callous behavior even more. So, I did report the profile to Facebook, and they ended up deleting my profile as a mistake. My profile! I use my Facebook for my art business, and it's very important to my income that I have access to my social accounts. So now I have to start a whole new Facebook account to advertise. All because of Patty's petty baloney. This Facebook account is also a horrible spelling, almost as if Patty does not even know how Facebook works. I did have a little chuckle at that, even though the situation itself makes me furious. Vince, he's at a loss for words. I mean, he can't see what I put up with my family's buffoonery. Update number 2. Please subscribe to the channel. Hey everyone, OP here with another update. I hate to say it, but things are just about the same for me. This Facebook profile continues to wreak havoc, and I called Patty and demanded an answer. She kept denying it, but I know it's her. I would just give up and ignore the Facebook profile, but hey, if that's how Patty wants to spend her free time, she's the loser, not me. But now, the profile's creating more problems for me in my personal life. The fake profile had posted bad things about Vince, bad things about me, and the profile has even badmouthed all my family members except for Grandpa. It's appalling to me that Patty's trying to make the world think that I believe all these foul things and have all these foul and twisted thoughts. To top it all off, the profile even posted some slander against Patty, which I thought was quite humorous. I mean, obviously, this is just Patty's feeble effort at throwing me off her trail. I know the profile must be her. Of course, my dumb family does not realize what a fake account is. Already, I've been receiving texts, phone calls, and other annoying contact from my family members, and local people in the area who are concerned and upset about the things I'm supposedly saying about them on Facebook. I've tried explaining to everybody that this profile is only using my real name and photos, but the profile is not me. My family don't seem to understand. They keep telling me I'm a jerk for posting all these things. Of course, Patty is denying everything. She's probably revealing it in this twisted insanity. I mean, do you people have any advice how to deal with this? I'm sick and tired, being walked all over by Patty and my twisted family of clowns. I've taken the high road and turned the other cheek for far too many times in my life, and it all's gotten me is nothing but disrespect and a whole heap of abuse. Well, I'm sick of it. It's time for me to find some way to exact my revenge on the family of clowns. So, go ahead. If you want, wish me a bit of luck. Update 3. Hello everyone, OP here, and I do have another update. Something crazy is happening, and I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I need some advice and just to explain to you all and walk through it. I might be onto something here, but I'm going to need some advice. I decided the best way to get even with Patty in this scenario was to fight fire with fire. I know I should not have stooped to her level, but I felt it was the only option at this point. I had to show Patty that I was not willing to simply take this drama and abuse lightly. I decided to create a Facebook of my own, a fake one to impersonate Patty. I was going to show her how it feels to have her reputation ruined and have her words put into your mouth. I mean, trust me, it does not feel good, so good to go through this, and I stole Patty's name, I stole her photos, and I began posting them right away. I posted rude things about her husband and talked about how I was a stupid cheerleader in high school. I must admit, joining the world of trolling was kind of a fun thing to do for a minute or two, and I decided to contact the fake account that's been impersonating me. I figured Patty would, get quite scared once she saw a friend request from herself. The fake account accepted the friend request from my own fake account almost instantly. Whoever was running this fake account did not speak or type in any way like Patty immediately struck me in the middle of the conversation. I figured Patty was just intentionally typing in a different style to throw me off her trail. So, in my last message to the profile, I asked in a very, very rude manner, "Why do you type like Grandpa?" This fake account stopped responding, and they did not just stop responding, they blocked the fake Patty profile I was using. Quite a reaction to being accused of typing like Grandpa, don't you think? People have a strange suspicion about this profile, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Update number 4. Okay, so OP's here with another update. I almost can't believe what happened today. I'm going to try to keep this brief and cut right to the chase because there's a lot I need to share with everyone. My parents decided to organize another family dinner at Grandpa's place, thinking that it would be best to get over our differences and come together as a family. The madness and resentment from the last big argument were starting to fade, and my parents thought it would be healthy for us to move forward. I understood their goal, but I was not on board with attending another family function. But then I realized this would be perfect chance to carry out my plan. I was as polite and cordial as I could be when I arrived at Grandpa's house. My intention was to make everyone think all the recent drama was simply water under the bridge now. And kissing some butts, of course metaphorically speaking, was the best way to go about it, and this strategy works wonders with abusive narcissists. I knew Grandpa's computer was in a separate room upstairs, so I had to come up with an excuse to sneak in there. I asked Grandpa if I could use his upstairs restroom and told him I simply did not want to sneak up the downstairs bathroom too badly. Grandpa seemed to understand since he's always said ladies should not be too open with farting and pooping. He wished me good luck in the bathroom. So, I went upstairs and finally had my chance to sneak into his computer room. I knew the lie about having to take a big poop would buy me enough time to do what I needed to do. I opened up Mozilla Firefox and went straight to Facebook, and sure enough, Grandpa was logged into the same account that's been impersonating me. I could not believe my eyes. My grandpa, he's a Facebook troll. I took photos of the evidence with my phone, and I also made sure to utilize Grandpa's printer, which was next to the computer. I printed off paper after paper of evidence of the Facebook profile proving it was Grandpa. I went downstairs and the entire family assembled to eat the dinner. Everybody was digging in when I said I had an announcement to make. So, people stopped to listen, probably assuming I was going to give them all an apology for my behavior for the last family function. Oh man. Keep dreaming. I confronted Grandpa in front of everybody. Everyone was shocked when I went ahead to display the evidence of the Facebook profile. Well, he knew that he simply could not deny this or try to weasel this way out of it. My whole family was upset with him because the fake account had bad-mouthed me pretty much, and said bad stuff about everyone, except for him. Grandpa eventually came clean and admitted to it in front of everybody, and he had made the fake account in order to justify his decision to remove me from his will. He said that he knew if he turned the family against me, nobody would have a problem with him removing me. He said that he was still upset I married Vince and wanted to teach me a lesson. I broke down crying and left the family function without saying another word. I'm not sure how to even process this. However, everybody immediately started treating me like an outcast. And, his authority was simply no longer that effective in the family. It was a relief to see that Grandpa, who controlled everybody's lives, was no longer able to do so because everybody would not be considering what he had to say. And if you ask me, honestly, I think that he deserves it. Update number 5. Hey guys, this is it. This is the final update. I just want to say thank you all for being attentive readers and leaving great comments. Things finally seem to be looking up for me. I got a phone call after the family function that shocked me to the core. It was Patty. Patty broke down crying on the phone and admitted that she's been a horrible sister. She said that she felt as if she's finally seen through. my family's indoctrination. She finally said that she realizes that Grandpa's been pitting us against each other since we were babies. I must admit I was speechless to receive this type of call. I still had some resentment towards Patty, but I knew it would be a load off my mind if I forgave her for the past transgressions and allowed us both to move forward in a mature way. We decided to get our own little petty revenge against Grandpa. Well, we both made a fake Facebook account using his name and photos, and we posted proof of his other fake photos all over the interwebs. Grandpa's reputation was in the gutter. It's tarnished now because once word got out about the crazy enough that he trolled his whole family on the internet. Even within the community, he was no longer able to walk with the same pride and ego and was forced to keep his head down in shame. I still talk to Patty. She comes by regularly to eat dinner with Vince and I. I've even warmed up to her husband, Snodgrass, and he has forgiven Patty for what she did in her past, which is both surprising and good. We even got her to start eating vegan food, which is quite different from the Patty I grew up with. Things have been going smooth, and neither of us has spoken to our extended family since the day I outed Grandpa as a Facebook troll. Honestly, I'm just so much more mentally healthy without those clowns in my life. So anyways, guys, I want to thank you for reading.